Welcome everybody, my name is Suzanne Vaughn and today I'll be discussing with you some tourist destinations in Southeast Asia and their tourism boards and what each of these tourism boards hopes to accomplish through the tourist culture. It's week 4 of brand development and for the past few weeks I've been doing some extensive research and critical analysis, and through this I've deducted that the Bangladesh Tourism Board is the company most in need of a rebranding. So without further question, let's get started in looking at some of these great vacation spots. The Southeast Asian region of the world has a lot to offer in terms of tourism traffic. There are 4 main countries that I've been examining over the past 4 weeks, and those countries are Singapore, Thailand, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. I've deducted that the Bangladesh Tourism Board most needs a rebrand, mainly because its logo is out of date, the colors don't mesh, and the fonts are not cohesive. The website is very unorganized and hard to navigate, and it doesn't really provide an easily navigatable way to discover what it is that Bangladesh offers. Bangladesh truly is the only organization that offers a vacation destination that's rich in geography and culture despite being given a stereotype of impoverishment. Through a rebranding and a little bit of tailoring on their tourism industry, Bangladesh could be given a completely different name and a completely different image, which is why I'd like to call the rebrand project the New Bangladesh. Deeply embedded in the Bangladesh Tourism Board website, the CEO plainly states in a letter to visitors that they'll return home with a refreshed and peaceful mind. Now this right here is a perfect jumping off point for our target audience and demographic for the Bangladesh tourism industry. The Bangladesh Tourism Board really puts a lot of emphasis on promoting a positive image for the country, and this is apparent in all touch points, whether it's sports media advertising or folk festivals. In the Bangladesh Tourism Board Act, they plainly state that the goal is to attract tourists by maintaining quality and relevant material, which in turn can provide a smooth tourism service and ensuring necessary actions that need to be taken for maintenance, meaning that they really want to uphold a positive image of the country. So where exactly is Bangladesh? Right up here in the middle of the top part of the map, next to the little green icon, you can see Bangladesh. It's a very small country. And then off to the side, on the right, we have Myanmar, also known as Burma. A little south of that is Thailand, and then all the way down at the bottom of the map, in the bottom right corner, is Singapore, which is an island country. First up is the Tourism Authority of Thailand. And now this is a very strong competitor, but it's not the strongest. This really is the only organization to connect to the travelers and potential travelers through a variety of multimedia platforms while still seeking to enhance domestic and foreign travel alike. Okay, the Tourism Authority of Thailand really sees a lot of value in their domestic travel, and that's something that's very unique to them. And as you can see on the far right-hand side, they have a very strong social media presence, okay? They have a Facebook, they have a Twitter that they're active on, a Google account, they even have a Pinterest. There's a Tumblr, a YouTube channel that you can follow their videos, one that's even featured on the homepage. They have a LinkedIn, a StumbleUpon, all of which you can access different information on Thailand currently. Another point of authenticity and differentiation with the Tourism Authority of Thailand and their homepage is that they offer a live camera view of Thailand. So at any point you can really log on and watch part of the live cam from Thailand and see different views from around the country. This is something that the other competitors don't offer. Next up is the Singapore Tourism Board. Now, Singapore is the only densely populated city and island country, and the Singapore Tourism Board exemplifies the uniqueness of the culture and the landscape through a very strong presence in digital space. Simply stated, the Singapore Tourism Board sees tourism as a key economic driver for the country. And so everything that they do, everything that they build is based upon tourism and how to attract more traffic into the country. The Singapore Tourism Board is also very highly evolved in the business world. A lot of what they do is centered around business and economics, whereas the other three countries are more concerned with leisure and pleasure travel. Our next competitor is the Myanmar Tourism Federation, and while this company was just rebranded very recently, they're the only organization to present travelers with what they call a unique and magical experience. They invite their visitors to partake in something mystical and unknown, which is very alluring to any traveler or anyone looking to experience something new and exciting. Being recently rebranded, the Myanmar Tourism Federation website still needs a lot of work. Some of the links are incomplete. There's not a clearly stated mission. There are just a few bullet points. It's not very easy to navigate, and a lot of information is lacking. If by chance the rebranding of Bangladesh went very well, they could easily surpass Myanmar in the tourism industry in Southeast Asia. Let's now take a look at the four companies in a much more competitive light. Bangladesh Tourism Board really does have a lot of similarities, but also a lot of differences to its three other competitors. Where the Tourism Authority of Thailand reaches a global audience with multiple language features, the Bangladesh Tourism Board website is very hard to navigate, it's unorganized, and it also uses just one language, which only targets the English users. While the Singapore Tourism Board boasts strong history of economic partnership with investors and co-brands, the Bangladesh Tourism Board struggles to simply defend an image of poverty in the country. And finally, while the Myanmar Tourism Federation doesn't have much to show in terms of galleries and national large-scale events, the Bangladesh Tourism Board, while still unorganized, does have a broad display of imagery for its visitors online. So who exactly are the travelers in these Southeast Asian countries? Taking a look at the pie chart here, you can see that a majority of the travelers are domestic. They're all traveling inland. And so the main goal of the Bangladesh Tourism Board really needs to be to reach out to an international audience and start to bring in some young travelers from other countries, not just already within Asia. One thing that can be said for travelers, whether domestic or foreign, is that there are three groups of people. There are the sedentary people who really don't plan on traveling anytime soon. There are people who are currently traveling, who are in airports and train stations and cruise ports. And then there are the people who will travel, the people who are getting ready to go on a vacation or a business trip or any kind of exposure to a foreign country. These are the people that Bangladesh Tourism Board can really capitalize the most on. The main strength here for the Bangladesh Tourism Board is that the tourism industry in the country doesn't really have a profile of its own. It's kind of a blank slate, and the Bangladesh Tourism Board can give its own flair in whatever way it would like to the tourism culture. This is a huge opportunity for them. They can build it from the ground up. A weakness here is probably the fact that there is no social media presence. On their website, there's an option to expand a side panel where you can link to a Facebook, a Twitter, and a Tumblr account, but they're not active. And in order to gain a popular image, they really need to be active on those social media sites and start using their hashtags and advertising, notably in travel apps. Now, some of these travel apps that they could really benefit from advertising in would be Expedia, Orbitz, Kayak, GoGoBot, and Tripomatic, where people are looking to make plans or looking at flights, browsing out of curiosity. thus giving Bangladesh an upper hand, putting themselves in that line of vision. So as you can see, out of the 4 companies, the Bangladesh Tourism Board really is positioned at the bottom of that totem pole. Singapore is the digital giant. Following that, we have Thailand. Myanmar has just been rebranded. And at the bottom, Bangladesh, which really doesn't have a name for itself in terms of tourist traffic. The sustainable advantage here is the fact that with little publicity, Bangladesh really has a huge opportunity to start to shine and make a name for itself in the global travel industry just by making some small tweaks, starting with the logo, starting with the website, reorganizing, creating a stronger photo gallery, and an easier way to navigate through the website. The strategy here is to develop spa-style resorts and newlywed-friendly destinations through co-branding efforts and to begin advertising in tourism apps and be active in social media. The main target audience of the Bangladesh Tourism Board needs to be newlyweds and people looking to escape the hustle and bustle of daily life and to go somewhere much more quiet, calm, and relaxing. This target audience will be a fantastic jumping off point to start publicity on the Bangladesh tourism industry, mainly because these people are going to be younger, they're going to be new to the tourism scene, and they won't be subjected to old stereotypes of the country. The most important marketing tactics for the Bangladesh Tourism Board need to be A, create a stronger social media presence and be active on social media platforms. B, to start advertising in high tourist traffic area. And C, to start co-branding with major resort destinations and spa getaway companies to elevate the name of the company itself. Through co-branding efforts and advertising, the Bangladesh Tourism Board is going to popularize the name and people are going to become more familiar with the country and loosen up those old stereotypes of poverty.